Take one.
You're watching the Questionnaire podcast.
What can they say?
You are checking out the Questionnaire.
What's your name again?
The Questionnaire.
Would you like to have questions?
I don't got it. I'm not that guy.
Submit yourself.
Super fun and entertaining.
This is the Questionnaire.
There. Do you see it? Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. My boy is loving that book so much, and I be doing all kinds of voices on it because that's what I do when I'm reading to my boy. It's funny because I realize I don't really ever do voices over here on the Questionnaire, but whatever. That is not particularly care in this moment because this is the continuation of season 3. We're getting deep. It's been dope. So many past great guests. There you go. I can't speak English. It's been a long and ladies and gentlemen out there, right? I need to create a playlist on the YouTube, so hopefully there's a playlist on the YouTube by the time this one comes out, and like all season 3 is together. Look, it's been busy. Shout out to Larry, the video editor, and the quest that me, him, and Vlad did last night that no one will ever see because that was pure chicanery. Eric, how did you not even catch the chat after that quest happened?
I know. I totally don't have it on mute because I'm a busy bee. I mean, I read all of it. Don't worry. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
All cherry. Eric in the house, apparently just ignoring the Questionnaire chat, man. I'll tell you, you missed it last night, dude. It was bloody comedy gold. But we're not going to get into what happened on that quest because then I'll probably have to not put this quest up, and that would be a pain because just. No, I don't need to have to fight a bloody panda. That doesn't sound fun at all, right? But there might be some stray pets. Yeah, with Graham Misiurak. How you doing, man?
How's it going, man? Kind of cuddly, though. A little, they got to be soft and cuddly, though. So.
Bloodthirsty. Bloodthirsty, but soft.
Yeah, no, I don't
think an anomaly of bears, right? They're kind of like, I just imagine all the other bears are just kind of like, they're just kind of looking at.
Yeah.
What is it? Eat plants? What? Really? Get out of here. You look like us.
I still don't think I'd want to cuddle a full-size panda.
Really? I don't know, man. They're like, I've ever seen like those the panda keepers. It looks pretty adorable, but maybe a baby pandas, maybe not the big ones. The big ones might have an attitude. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and if you make them mad and they dig into the wrong spot on you with a claw, you have a couple minutes. Yeah, you have a couple minutes.
Yeah,
because that's how long they're called. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, it might not even be malicious on their part. They
don't even realize that they're bears. They're like little puppy dogs, in bear bodies or something. That's my hot take on pandas.
Oh, we've been sitting here chatting before the show. There is so much banter before the show. Larry, I need you to start editing before and after the show. For when you're editing this, you're gonna be. What does that even mean? Yeah. We already talked about it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
because the banter is serious, and we need to update that over on the Patreon. We're gonna get to that, ladies and gentlemen, before season 3. But it's been a heck of a juggle, right? So, with that, Graham, what I want to know, man, is when you're trying to juggle as a creative, especially when you're doing it as someone that may have a regular job, right? How do you go about doing that? And not, as you put it so apropos, sell your soul.
Yeah, I don't know. I find a really cool thing about when you're doing something completely unrelated to your creative endeavors. And it's like when you put that stuff in the back burner and you start focusing on other things in front of you, the task at hand, whatever, be at work, whatever. I don't know, interesting stuff happens in the background there where it's like you kind of things are brewing, you know what I mean? It's like you're not focusing on it. You kind of give yourself a break. There's no pressure, you're not thinking about that. And I find a lot of breakthroughs can happen that way too. You'll sort of just kind of be like, you'll do your stuff and you'll be like, if you leave a problem, you walk away from a problem kind of thing, or like a mental block or anything, especially in writing for me. It's just, yeah, and you'll be like, oh my god, this is so bad, it's so stupid, I'm so frustrated. And then like within 24 hours, you know, you just stop thinking about it, you do something else, and then you're like, oh, because something just serendipitously or whatever happens in your life, and it's just kind of like it takes the pressure up. And I think the more it's like the harder you squeeze, the more like the sand just kind of goes through your fingers sometimes. I feel like that's, and so yeah, doing other things is good. I think it gives your brain just another gear to go to, because you can't always be going in one gear and trying to be like there's one story, like grind, grind, grind. It doesn't work that way. You're gonna just be like burning oil. Yeah, for sure.
But wait, you mean when you say one gear, you mean as far as just pushing yourself into one particular thought, or you mean as far as just the setting of your gears, as far as like, are you in fifth or
Well,
are you
doing
in
one
first?
thing, like writing, it would be for me. It would be like just the writing portion of making comic books or whatever. If you're just writing, even if it's different projects, at a certain point, the well runs dry for a second. You have to like let it recharge, the battery recharge, and go do other things and stuff. I find, like, for me anyway. Again, this is all subjective, but I find, because it's just like at a certain point you just overthinking, and you're just circular like logic for things, for plots or character developments or whatever. So yeah, I find it really healthy to just kind of shift gears in that respect. I mean, just do something completely unrelated to writing or whatever. For me, right? Go to the dog park, like just take the kids out, fly a kite. I don't know, whatever. Like just something totally different than what you're doing, and just let that part of your brain like recharge. Yeah.
That's fair, but you still
Yeah,
didn't
that's how I
answer.
work.
You still didn't answer that. How do you avoid selling your soul part?
I think
don't.
that's how you do it, though. I mean, because you got to be. I mean, yeah, that's true. That was only partial answer. You're right. Geez, how do you do it without selling your soul? That's such a huge thing. I was just trying to be,
See,
yeah,
you're the one
more.
that
Avoid
said
it
you
so
wanted to
bad.
answer this question. Don't give me gruff about it. I'm saying what you wanted to get
Gruff.
into, right? Like,
This ain't even gruff, dude. You don't even know. I'm busting your balls. No, you're right. Like,
my balls have
how do
been
you not?
busted
How do you
enough the
not sell
last
yourself?
year.
What's that? Sorry.
So my balls have been
Yeah, no,
busted enough the last year. Okay, just ask
dude,
Locke
go
about
for
it.
it. Yeah,
Damn.
fair enough. Fair enough. I think, no, honestly, like just how you don't sell your soul, though, is by doing all that, because you care so much, though, and you want to stay genuine to your idea. That's why you're burning yourself out, is because you care. If you didn't care, and you could go into anything and just sort of like, hey, shit out this story for me, or whatever, and it'd be the easiest thing in the world. You wouldn't be burning your brain power, because you wouldn't give a shit. You'd just be like, I just wrote 20 books and I put them on Amazon, like, it's like nothing. It doesn't matter. So I think, if you question yourself, I think all the best people have imposter syndrome, worry, because they question themselves, and that's what I think a genuine person that's doing what they really care about does, because they question constantly. How do I fit in to what I'm doing, and or in any way possible? It's just sort of like, yeah, because if you didn't care, then that's the bottom line. You just don't give a shit. You don't care anyways. So
I mean, and look, I get that, and I can kind of relate, because as far as like, there's part of me that's like, how have I had the people on this show that I have had on this show in the,
yeah.
now
And how come?
I I don't know, man, because apparently I'm charismatic.
Intuitiveness.
I just thought I was a bit of an asshole, or at least that's what everybody's typically told me in real life. Like you need to learn to not say all the things in your head. But it seems like when I say all the things in my head over here, it's like, all right, that works. We're not getting into. I'm not even bringing that up. Never mind, because we did that on Larry, and that's part
Perseverance,
of the
man.
reason.
Perseverance. That's why you're still going and you're still doing it. Perseverance. I swear. It's so key. There's so many times where you can give up and just Just keep going,
Well,
man.
that's where the greats come out, is perseverance. And
Yeah,
and like
that
you
is.
had said though, is if you're not selling the soul and you actually care, you care enough, you will find a way to persevere. This is something I've done a lot of workshops and talks with people who want to get into comics, and I'm like, you need perseverance and you need to hold your ground, because for
Yeah.
anything, comics included, it might suck and you might doubt yourself, but if you care enough, you're going to figure it out. And that's the big one.
And there's so many things coming out right now. So many people have fantastic comic book ideas. Self-publishing is like a big thing. It's like so easy to get your stuff out there. So
Oh yeah.
a lot of the time it comes across as noise. And I think one of the things that clears the noise is if you're still around in 5 years, in 10 years or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember hearing, but that's still going. Okay, interesting. Because I don't know, like just personally, just for TV or a season, I'm not sure I want to get into a season of a show if it's going to be canceled and the rug's going to be pulled out from under me, and I'm going to invest in my time, and it's going to be going nowhere. But if you see a show and there's like, okay, there's like 3 seasons of it or whatever, then you're like, okay, so there's like some meat to it, and
Must be
like
something
there's
there,
something
yeah.
there's something there. So it's like it's perseverance, I think, that really, unless it's like the spark, the amazing sparks that you all hear about. It's just like, oh my god, this new thing is amazing, catches fire. It always happens, but like the trends and stuff. But I think generally speaking, you can't bet on winning the lottery. So it's like you gotta try and do it more like just keep on nose to the grindstone. And in our case, it's doing whatever, like writing, drawing, whatever the hell, podcasting. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
Whatever you equate what I do to whatever the hell. This show is over, Eric. Did you hear that crap? Like, what in the look, man? I run a podcast. I make music. I may be writing like 6 things. I need to finish that script to get to you, Eric. That's a whole other point.
Eric in that whatever the hell. Just so you know.
Well, I know Eric. Whatever the hell Eric's doing, I'm not trying to keep up with. It's too much. Why I'm trying
say
to
whatever the hell for what I'm doing.
With the what the hell, I just mean whatever the hell, and that just means in the all-encompassing whatever the hell is all I'm saying. Yeah, not the poo-pooing the what the hell.
I meant like I can't keep up with it. You do too much, Eric, because between what you're doing, what you're doing with All Cherry, what you're doing with Scott, but we're gonna get to that. We actually got Scott coming up here in not too long, and you need to get why have you not booked it? That's besides the point. We ain't talking about you right now, Eric. Stop digressing. All right. Oh wait, that was me. All right, but back.
The guy hasn't said like 2 words.
Whatever. His advice to sell your soul was don't.
Yeah. Well, hey.
I'm a beloved co-host. I know that.
Man, hey, for real. No, you are. Oh man, I can't tell you how much love I got for everybody that's been and enjoyed and joined on this mad bloody ride. But to that, I want to know when you get to a point, man, where something's really, how do you it's wearing thin on you because of what it's taking to try and create what you want to create. What do you do aside from just perhaps stepping away to make sure that you continue to persevere in that particular endeavor?
Holy shit. Yeah. I think one of the most important things is, and I think everybody has a day like this where you're just, I think it's just human. It's just you wake up one day and just like, what am I doing? Like, this is shit. I'm shit. The world's shit. I can't do this or whatever, and I think those days are the most important, where you just gotta just get through that day to yourself. A lot of people, I think, during COVID discovered this, that just getting through the day and surviving another day, that is an achievement. That is an achievement. You should. It's not easy all the time, man. And it's so easy to fall into depression and all these things. So, yeah, that's one of the things. Is just sort of definitely.
It makes me think of the very end of the newest Superman film.
Okay.
As far as what he said to Lex before Crypto was like, "Stop poking my dude."
Yeah.
Which,
I love that movie. That was great.
I know that part makes my son crack up because I was like, buddy, come watch this. And I get to tell him, like, look, buddy, this guy's being a douchebag and Superman's still trying to be positive. I mean, look, you see how positive he's being? And then my boy starts cracking up because there comes Crypto.
Yeah.
I'm like, but sometimes you got a dog who just don't want to see you get hugged like that. You know? And that's what happens. You know? Sometimes that dog is all kinds of different things, you know, and I think that's important. Huh.
Not to sidetrack, but I hope they're making a Supergirl movie, like, you know, because the whole ending bit. Yeah, I'm so down for that.
Okay, personal look. I'm gonna say it right now, because I swear before they cast Jason Momoa as Lobo, you can go back on this show, and you can find episodes, or you can find different quests, a couple different quests, where I was like, why did they not cast Jason Momoa as Lobo? The dude literally looks like Lobo.
Yeah.
Like he has the same build. He has the same hair. Yeah.
Lobo, yeah.
He's Lobo. Just, you know, put some paint on him to get him that, and give him some red contacts and give him some chains. The dude is Lobo. It's not even a lot of work to make him Lobo, right?
Not even a lot of work.
And now I'll tell you, he's apparently only making a cameo appearance in Supergirl, right?
Okay.
And
as Lobo, or?
As Lobo.
Okay.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: she likes to go to red sun planets and get drunk. Lobo just likes to drink. Period. Anywhere, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If he shows up somewhere, he's probably gonna look for a bar long before he looks for a bounty. So I really think she's going to be in a bar. I think she's going to offend Lobo. Lobo's going to kick the holy crap out of her and then probably look at her and be like, you're weak. And I really hope that ends in later in the DC universe. James Gunn, if you're listening, man, hire me. I got some ideas. I need that kind of money, right, in my life. Right? Yeah. It's going to end up with him just going to Earth. Just for the purpose of fighting Superman, because he heard Kryptonians were tough, and he's like, "I beat the crap out of this one. What are you talking about?"
I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
And I don't need my concept. Yeah,
like I need that in my and I just honestly can't wait to see Lobo brought to life. He was always one of my favorite DC characters, and they will never bring the other to life, which is Tommy Madigan. I can't remember. It's a Garth Ennis, the Hitman series.
Yep.
And they'll never put that character in film.
I don't know if they put like ass face on TV.
I just don't. I mean, I guess it's possible, and I mean, maybe perhaps they will use that character because Garth Ennis clearly has a lot of things that have been turned into television and this and that, including apparently Caust coming up, which worries me.
Caust? Oh, really?
I read an article. They're doing a Caust TV show.
Interesting.
TV show. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's, and I kind of think I spoke, but I hope I didn't speak that into existence. I don't want to really be responsible for that at all. But another thing we were discussing before on the show was AI, right? And how much it's affecting. And then every time I talk about this, I hear something new that just makes me go, "Son of a," right? Every time, right?
It's in reality, man.
It's not reality. It's an augmentation.
Well, you can't ring that bell, man. That's the thing. You cannot ring that bell. It's wrong. Like, unless everything is destroyed, it's just like it's here, man. Like, in some capacity, we can pull back. Thank God. But
there was a car once that ran on water. Like, they made an engine and it ran appropriately on water. That's the document, right? But now it's gone.
Yeah, my dad had one. My dad had, or he wanted one, an amphibian. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's gone.
A terrible idea. It's like, it sounds good, like in concept. Like you just drive into the fucking lake and that's a boat. But it, like in theory, it's great. But in practice, not good. I think AI is like that a lot. It sounds good.
No. I mean,
sounds pretty good.
Oh, are you talking about hydrogen cars?
Yes.
No,
they're run on
hydrogen cars.
I know at one point buses I don't know if it was in Europe or not, were using hydrogen. But
No,
I
they're
don't
all
think
doing in Ontario. They're all doing hydrogen. They're all hydrogen.
they do it in Ontario too.
Yeah.
Killer.
My point is,
But-
things like that are typically suppressed, and the things that will make us more easy to control are pushed. And AI, if
certainly.
nothing, is an implement of control without people understanding it for so many different reasons. And again, this is a conversation we've had on a number of points of the show about AI, but I think every time I have this discussion, I realize there are different and other depths to it. Like I said, we had Mark on recently. He's talking about it going to war games. That sucks. We had Damien Poitier, who we had a discussion about it, and he was ostensibly like, if you can stop it in art, if you can stop making it to where it can get access to new art and new things, then it will at a certain point just be eating its own tail. And it will.
It's already doing that. AI is already plateaued right now, basically. There was a Harvard linguist who was speaking about how it's sort of like plateaued at this point, and one of the reasons why is it's already consumed all the digital human information that's available, like on the internet and everything. And there's a whole vast bunch of information that's not been digitized. You know, poetry and books and the real human like experience. And so it may think it has like an understanding of humanity, but it's only just have like a little fraction of what's going on, and that's kind of cool. So the analog is still rocking. It's all good. Don't worry.
It's certainly nothing to worry about in art. We were mentioning it beforehand. I wish I had it on me. It's in the other room. There's a comic that I had picked up on a whim at my local comic shop in London, and it was called How to Break Into Comics. And I think in parentheses it says you can't.
And it was a comic book itself.
Yeah, and it's a really good comic talking about how easy it is to get in, but also how difficult it is. Anyway, that's besides the point. But he has a whole section on AI. And the header of that section says, AI art, it's not going away, but don't worry about it. And that's a whole topic I could talk about because at least in terms of comics and art, it's nothing to worry about. It sucks. And good for you if you don't use it. But it's just like digital art. I even noticed at the start when they were doing absolute comics like Batman and all that jazz, the bring back of traditional art has been huge. I know even I've been delving into it more, and I've grown as a person, and I've noticed even at shows, people are buying my books and enjoying the books more when I can show them the pages. So I feel when you got
connection, the human connection.
Yeah, and it happens in so many other ways, but when so much of the BS of AI happens, most people, at least who care, it clicks in their brain that they're just sick of it. And they just automatically already have more appreciation for the good stuff. That's a topic I could talk about forever. I wish I had the book on me. It's a killer description about, if you're getting into comics, don't worry.
I like that. That's good. There's like hope for it. Exactly. It's not all. It doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. Yeah.
It still sucks though.
Well, I mean, I always equate it to like drum machines and drummers. Like it's like when drummers heard drum machines, they're like, "Oh shit! Well, there you go. We're done." They're still fucking drummers. So like, I don't know. I think you just adapt. It just becomes part of the norm, and I like you said, real art will always be appreciated, and that's what we were talking about. Having the podcast that you had, where he was like, where Locke was drawing the actual thing, so you have like the evidence and like the actual,
you know, appreciate it much more that way. Yeah,
it's like it's a real moment. It's like human moment, and you guys talking about it and everything. Yeah, it's so cool.
And not even that. Yeah, this is something we lightly discussed with Mark Bagley when he was on. It also shows you the labor of creating that art. You know what I mean? Which, like I said, we discussed this with Mark. You can go back and check that quest. I don't think a lot of people really think about that. And I've had the sheer pleasure of watching so many great artists come on the show and draw so many great screwy things that, like in a lot of cases, like screwy things that I came up with. Like, hey man, why don't you guys combine this and that and see what happens? You know, and
that's how the Ninja Turtles came up. You know what I'm saying? So like, like just go for it. Yeah.
So it's very intriguing to see that, and I hope people will have an appreciation more for that as opposed to you type in a prompt and you get whatever you want. Look, I won't lie. The couple of my brothers and Zay have been kind of messing with the AI art and making little images, and I was like, fine, let me see if I can just make a logo real quick for myself musically. And I typed in a couple things and did this and that. And, like the fifth picture, I was like, if this was an artist, I would be beating them. Like, I would be physically picking up a notebook and being like, dude, I swear to God, if you one more time turn out something that crappy, I'm gonna like, you're not ever gonna write again, dude. I'm gonna like, no, you will never draw. I'm going to make you incapable of picking up a pencil because, sir, you do not deserve one with what you are turning out if you call yourself any kind of artist, which, it's AI art. Whatever. I mean, that's sincerely what I thought of it. But with that, and with AI art being something that's obviously going to be consumed by people to a certain degree. I mean, I can't think of how many short videos, and I got a buddy of mine that they're making shorts. Well, it's fake like Pixar previews. I don't know if you guys have seen any of those where it's like,
oh yeah,
okay, see, and I got a buddy that sent me a couple of those.
The mock trailers and stuff. Like
there's really screwy trailers where it's like Pixar, but let's get real depressing, like with no positive message, just real depressing and right down the hill. Come with us, right? That's the trailers they're making, right? With that, and with everything else,
I'm not that familiar with it.
Oh, I mean, it's just dumb things being made by AI. Yeah. What do you think that's going to do to the future of human storytelling? Like, do you think?
Sorry, I'm right here.
I was like, I just asked you a question. You gonna run away, dude?
No,
I mean, we can end the show if it's that deep.
I had to get a spider. Go on.
Okay, again. No,
you killed a spider?
Spider attack.
I had to.
Spiders are my best friends.
I try to keep them alive if I can, but
I respect that.
Sorry.
Why did that one have to die?
It's in my office. Well, it's not.
There's been a death on the podcast. Damn it.
I don't tolerate infestation. Even Buddhists would agree with me.
At least it wasn't like a creator or something death on the podcast, man. Between
You don't know what the spider's done.
I'll plant 5 more spiders.
I can't make a web like that.
Well, sorry, you were asking me a question.
Look, back to, damn it.
You asked me to be a co-host.
I did. Whatever. All right, so back to my question, Graham. With AI being like that, and it's obviously going to be something that people are going to consume the stories of, do you think the presence of it will affect human storytelling, and how so?
Human storytelling,
stories told by people, not a robot.
Yes, no, I'm just thinking about it. It's a question. I
was just buying you time.
I don't know about that specific way about storytelling. I mean, I don't know. AI hallucinates a lot of the time, and it's just like it just sort of guesses a lot of the time. Like that's what AI does a lot. It's just really good at guessing stuff, and the more stuff it has to guess from, I guess the more accurate it'll be. But I just don't think it's just writing. It's like you said, it's like there's art, like there's music. You can make songs in like one sentence, and it'll pull out an album. All these people on Spotify. There was this guy that got busted for having fake bands on Spotify, and they were like, he was making like so much money. And it was all like, there was no work or no soul. I mean, I'm sure he was working at that, like advertising or whatever, like selling it. But that was the work. It was all like shelling it out, shilling. It wasn't like about music or making art or anything like that. So, I don't know. It's gonna. I think to answer your question in a roundabout way, it's gonna affect, and it is affecting all facets of sort of life. whether it be creative, whether it be like accounting, like my wife's an accountant. They're like doing this co-pilot like thing, trying to work with it, like AI, like helping them out. It's just like everything. We're just like throwing everything at the wall with this AI stuff and seeing like what sticks. And it's like, I still think at the end of the day, like Eric, like you said, it's going to be, you're not going to be able to replicate or like replace just genuine human things like art, storytelling, like, you know, give me someone coming up and telling me a story. Oh my God. Guys, you gotta hear this story. You know what I mean? Any day of the week. Then a fucking like
will
one day
always
there was a
shine.
dude. Yeah, like
Humans have told stories forever. That's been like the main source of communication in humanity. And I personally think, not trying to interrupt, but I personally think, just like digital art, just like the drum machine, it only emphasizes the human more. That's what I'm almost excited about it. Like we were saying before the podcast started, indie comics, especially this year, so many good indie comics, and there's so many cool things people are doing. And then you go on Kickstarter, and there's so many interesting projects that people want to back. And it's only going to emphasize the best. And there's always going to be stupid, disgusting, dumb things for people to consume. Always. And there always has been.
Always.
Capitalism. But that's
reality TV.
That's just how it's that's how it's going to be. But that's only going to make the good shows, the good movies, the good comics shine. And that's what pushes pop culture. That's what creates a generation of interesting things. When historians look back, they're going to go, like you said, how does that affect human storytelling? People are going to look back and go, holy crap, they were dealing with this stuff. And that's why all this good stuff came out.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
I agree. I agree, man.
So you think it's going to cause an art renaissance?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. I can feel it.
Yeah. I just see people, I'm not an artist for my comic books, I'm the writer, but like I see people at the cons all the time. And there's this like look in someone's eye when you're like, when they pick up this book and they're like, you drew this? There's like a sparkle in their eye. And like, I get it when, oh, you wrote this, you created this. And so it's like nice. But I mean, they're looking at the art. The art's amazing. So it's like, there's just something about it where it's like, you did this, you know, like there's an appreciation.
You know, it's funny. I think it's funny how people tend to say that about the art with a comic more than they do about the writer, because they are both as vitally as important as one another. Like, and it's funny because we've had, I don't know how many writers, I don't know how many art. I mean, I don't know. There's been a lot of people in the comic book industry on the show, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't often pose the question. It just kind of gets said by either the writer or the artist. The writers are like, oh no, the artists have the way harder job. They have to bring to life all the crap that I made up out of my head, right? And then a lot of times the artists will be like, no, the writers have the way harder job. They have to spew out crap and give me some formula that I can write from just out of nothingness. Like, let me reach into this spot. Yeah, let me reach into this spot right here, grab it, and
it's true.
You know, like produce Spider-Man if you're Stan Lee, or like
staring at a blank page can be so intimidating.
I can only draw as good as my writer writes.
As an artist or a writer, I'm sure you can attest, like just staring at a blank page can be so intimidating. You're just kind of like, where do I even start? Like, I don't even know.
Eric, Eric doesn't even know what he just did as far as the thing. And now and between what you just said and a conversation with Mark Bagley, if I gave you like a 30-page script, I'm sorry. But, what?
Go ahead.
He looked worried when I said that.
No. Well, I'm waiting.
We're waiting for the shoe to drop.
Punchline.
Well, no, it's just based on conversations and based on creators that I know have worked together and based on information that I've had relayed to me over the course of doing this show. And I mean, just of how things work. But it's interesting. Like when you write, Graham? Like, are you writing a full script? Are you writing kind of loosey goosey and letting the artist do things? Like, how are you doing that? I said
When I
loosey
write,
goosey.
well, sorry,
I said loosey goosey.
I use that expression, so it didn't even register to me. I love that expression. It just rolls off the tongue. No, most of the time I'm pretty clear about what I want. I think the rapport between a writer and an artist gets better, as they go on. So they start to understand what each other kind of mean back and forth. And if there's ever like a discrepancy, I'll just be like, "Sorry, I didn't explain it properly. This is actually like what I kind of had in mind, and I didn't." Sometimes I don't realize it until you see it in front of you, and you're like, "No, sorry, that just doesn't flow properly. Could you do this?" So like, it's the artist is not even the artist's like fault. They did it right, but then you see it back. So it's like a kind of a ping pong, like back and forth tennis match a bit sometimes, I think. And I couldn't work with somebody, I don't think, like, that didn't get what I was talking about, or I didn't get what they were, I didn't feel what they were doing matched the material. So I think that's step one. You have to have the relationship, and then all that other stuff comes, afterwards. Because if you don't have a relationship, you're going to be just butting heads or not getting. It's a collaborative process, whether it's
Very
two
collaborative
people
medium.
or for sure, or five or whatever. So
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. I think people sometimes fail to realize, and depending on how close they are to the industry, but if they're like just a casual reader of comics, I don't think you would realize the amount of people that have had their hand on any book, especially if you're referring to like one of the big two. I mean, especially in the case of the big two, how many hands that book has passed through before it's finally gotten into the store to you, and how many people communicated. Have you ever had any issues? You ever had like an artist be like, "Listen, damn it, this is the way it should be. I read what you wrote, and I don't know what your problem is. I don't know why you're telling me this. I read what you wrote, Graham. This is what you want."
Don't you know what you want? Oh my God, no, that'd be terrible. And I've never likewise done that to an artist. But like, why don't you draw it properly? It's like, no, not at all. That would suck. That would be a hostile work environment, I would say. I'm fortunate enough to not. I mean, I've had things where I'm like, I don't think it's working, so I would just be like straight up, be like, I almost like fired one of the colorists for one of the books, and I'm just like, it's not the right vibe. And he was like, oh, I can do this, and he did it, and I was like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it, do that. Yeah, okay, you're hired again. Like, yeah, perfect. So it's just sometimes it's just a communication problem. But yeah, I think you have to have the relationship again. Like it's so key. It just good people, and I don't know, like serendipitously, if you find them, Eric. I don't know what your experience has been like with other authors or artists. Like how do you find these people?
Well, and so I've been lucky enough to work with people that I know so far. People who've never worked in comics, people who have worked in comics, but I've been asked this question a few times on podcasts. It's my favorite thing to answer because especially when you mentioned, Jay, you said that, when people buy a book, they're looking at the art. And there are steps to a book. And when people see, they're going to look at the art first, right? Then they're going to read it because of the art, usually. And then they're going to go, oh, wow, the writing, right? This story is awesome. But then they're going to really, if they really like the story, they're going to really delve into the colors. And they're going to go, ooh, the colors are so pretty. I love how they do this. And then the lettering, which is my favorite thing to teach people who get into comics about lettering, because they're like, a letterer? What's a letterer, right? It's so important, right? That's my favorite part, is explaining these. But the best part about comics, like you'd said, it's a very collaborative medium. And when you've got that perfect synergy with your team, you've got a killer comic. And for example, Scott Wojcik, who's been on the show a quadrillion times, I work on a series with him, Monster of the Abyss. And when he pitched the story to me, it was 6 pages. He's like, 6 pages, short, whatever, right? I was like, I love this story. So I storyboarded it like full tilt based on his 6 pages. It became 14. And he was like, what the heck did you do? But I was lucky enough as a writer, he's so chill. And as an artist, I'm quite chill. And it hits a point where there's no butting heads, but there's this collaborative work where I'm like, yeah, I did this. And he's like, that's awesome. Can we do that? And I'm like, yeah. And then visually and metaphorically, I could do this. And it's that teamwork you need. I haven't had any bad experiences with anyone yet, but I have dealt with a lot of new artists. We had mentioned, I believe earlier, I do the All Cherry Anthology every year, and I've had to teach how to make comics so many times. And that's probably the only time I've had a bit of a butt with people, but not in a bad way. It's more like a collaborative learning. Yeah, and I love doing that. It's fun. Yeah. People realizing that even panel layouts are so important.
Oh my god!
So it's so fun. So it's a very fun collaborative medium, and you all need to be on the same page, and you need to be very honest and open.
I think that's the takeaway, for sure.
So with that, Graham, if there was some kid walked up to you, some 16-year-old, right, it was like, "Ooh, I really like this book. It's awesome. I would really like to be able to make my books one day." Some 16-year-old. He's going to kill the child. All right. So now we have child murder. So now the show has to end. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, everybody, give it a thumbs up. Get your comic on. Have a good night. Like Graham just ended it because he's killing children.
A kid and a fighter.
Just fucked it up, Graham. It's over. All right, go on. Sorry. So a 16-year-old is coming up, and they're asking me,
how can Jesus, Graham, you threatened to kill the kid before you even knew what the question was?
No, I was doing it. There was no threat. I was doing it. Yeah.
We need to restart this whole commercial because people could probably hear Pokemon in the background.
Please check out this amazing promotion that we have prepared with the questionnaire.
I'm the Unknown Factor. This right here is the obscure fragment.
Are watching this show?
Yeah, I'll do editing
with the questionnaire.
So we've edited this awesome commercial together, y'all.
90% off.
We are not giving 90% off.
No, I mean 9.
How about 20?
The only thing that you have to do is enter that code that you have right there.
9.
No, 20.
10.
How about 20?
I'm printing your comics today with Studio Comics Press.
Just use this code right here, right here, right here. Look, I put it somewhere. All right, it's probably actually right here, right here, right. It's right under your chin. It says Quest 24.
That code you gotta enter in our website, and then you will get a Women discount of 20% in any of the items or products that we have on the website.
9.
20.
9.
20%.
9.
All right.
9.
He wants to give you 9% off. I, as well as Alfonso over there on Studio Comics, want to give you 20% off.
You can get it right there with this amazing code. Just enter it right here. Yeah, just right there. There.
Use that code over at Studio Comics to get 20% off.
Thank you very much. This is a special one for all our friends of the questionnaire.
Type in Quest 24 when you check out, man. You can figure out the percentage you'll get right then because it'll show in your order.
Yeah, right? 9% off.
It's 20%.
The Questionnaire, the best current comic book podcast existing around.
So happy to have Studio Comics as our very, very first sponsor. Say Studio Comics!
Studio Comics!
Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and do all the stuff that you have to do.
I'm the Unknown Factor with the Questionnaire. Make sure you check it out.
I'm shocking that in that manner. Yeah.
Kind of respect that, actually.
Yeah. No. Hey.
That he murdered children?
He knows what he wants. There was no indecisiveness.
Come up with that.
I mean, I'll give you at least he doesn't P. Diddy. At least he doesn't P. Diddy it, but really, that's the only step worse.
Oh, no, I don't even want the same sentence. Like, I don't want to be in the same sentence as P. Diddy, please.
Well, I'm on the same podcast as that sentence.
Yeah, no, that's not appropriate. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I derailed this. Yeah. I tend to do that sometimes.
You're the one that's talking about killing children, and look, you like there's a quest that you can't even release because look, between me, Vlad, and Larry, that quest went so off the rail that we can't even Like it's people will it's like
YouTube's
fun,
gonna be
man. So
monetized,
look,
too.
a 16-year-old walks up to you, bright-eyed,
Yeah.
cheery, loving your book,
Okay.
right? You do not choke them. He does not choke them, Eric. You do not choke them. This is key.
Weird.
Okay? No,
Okay.
and they go, I really love your book, man. Can you tell me how you got into comics and what advice you would give me? I would really like to be able to make something one day to give to someone and be like, this is my story that I made.
Yeah, so like I would first ask them again if they want to write or draw, and then I would say again, like it's like basically all these like bullet points that we have gone through over the night, like perseverance, stick with your idea, stay true to what you want to do, keep on trying things. You're not gonna like hit a home run the first time. You have to experiment, see what comes out, what people like, what you're write what you know, all these things. And they sound like cliches, but like they're just really good advice, I think, anyways, because this is what I've kind of been told and what I've sort of gleaned over the years as well to be true. They're truisms. They're cliche for a reason, and it's because they're sort of evergreen. They're true. So just stick with it, and don't let people, one or two people, derail you. We tend to like 98% of people can be like, I love your stuff, and then like there's like that 2% be like, this is stupid, this is shit, and like that's all we focus on is like the 2%. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it's just like that.
Oh, yeah.
You do a post or anything, and it's just like, oh, this is great, and there's that one guy just like, this is stupid, and
Dude,
that's
been
all you can think about is that
burned
post.
many
It's
times.
stupid, like yeah, and I'm just like, let that shit go, and focus on the 98%. That's what's important, because that means you're doing something right. There's always gonna be haters.
I want to focus on one thing real quick, and then I want to get to the final point that you said you really wanted to get into, because I very much find it interesting. But didn't I say this show we were trying to keep it PG-13 before we started?
I don't remember that.
I don't think we did.
All right, don't call me out on my BS, Eric. I don't want to hear it from you.
might
No,
have-
I said I don't want to. I said I don't want to hear it from you, Eric. Okay, I'm 90% sure I said it, and if I didn't, no one will ever be able to prove me wrong. I'm the only one with the recording. I say I did.
Listen, viewers, everyone just remember, you need to focus on that 90%, not the 10%. You want to focus on that 90%.
The 90% that he said.
And my editor is going to be going through. Larry's going to love editing this, because he has to edit out 90% of what you said, because it was not PG-13, Graham, right? But besides that, man, like I said, with Yuki versus Panda, right? You said you wanted to go into how honor and heart can coexist in chaos. Now, I don't even want to say anything else, but I want you to elaborate before I have the million thoughts that I have behind that.
Oh, I just don't even know where to begin. But like, if you look at the yin and the yang, that symbol, where it's like the black and the white, but in darkness there's a little bit of light, and in light there's a little bit of darkness. I just find that whole dichotomy to be true throughout life. There is a balance, and no one is one thing or the other completely, and you can't have one without the other. And so it's just a beautiful sort of ballet of I don't know, this ebb and flow of sun and moon and feminine, male energy, all the whole thing, everything that's associated with the yin and the yang. I just find it to be so true, like in life. And dude, they were talking about, there was an experiment where they found that, like, when they explode or like expose sound or water to like supersonic, like a light emits, and they were like, so there's like light in the black holes, and there's blackness in the light holes, and all this stuff. I don't want to get too crazy because I'm paraphrasing here, obviously, but like, yeah, I just really feel that that's a good balance, and everything is a good way to, I don't know, kind of approach anything. If you approach anything with balance and moderation, you're gonna have a higher chance of success than diving in and then hoping that there's water in the pool, kind of thing. So that's my 2 cents, my Confucius kind of wisdom, though, from Yuki VS Panda, though. To be fair, yeah.
But okay, and I mean, I think everything you said was fairly poignant and things that people should take advice to. But how does that explain how humor and heart coexist in chaos?
Humor and heart coexist in chaos. Well, because these are balances. You have to find the humor in the chaos of life, and these are, I don't know. I mean, you've been through a tough year. I've been through a tough year, but I just know that, like, have you ever just been so, I don't want to bring the room down, but just so upset or so sad about something, and then someone will say something, and then you'll all just have like a crazy big laugh about it, and you're so upset, but you're sitting there laughing.
Yep.
And that I think is just, it's again, like I'm saying, the yin and the yang, the dichotomy of this whole thing, this life and this death, and the laughing and the horrors, and it's just, you have to find the humor in the chaos and the heart in the chaos as well. Like I really believe that, honestly. Was that too much? Is it too much mustard on that one?
Wait, me or Eric?
I don't know. Just, is it too much?
I mean, I don't like mustard. Period, man. I don't. I'm just gonna point that out.
Proverbial mustard. The proverbial mustard.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but the proverbial mustard, I think, is phenomenal. And people don't get enough of it in grand regard. They tend to cut that point off before the video finishes, and that's why most of what people consume is less than 5 minutes. So you don't get the mustard and the ketchup and the lettuce. You just get smacked in the face by a piece of beef, and that's it.
That's it. Smacked in the face with a piece of beef. That's perfect analogy. Exactly.
I wish it wasn't.
Face with a wiener, like, yeah.
I wish it wasn't, Graham. I really do. I really wish I was wrong. I want to point that out. I don't like making points like that and then being like,
"You're right."
I know. I don't want to be
self-awareness, though. It's good.
Yeah, I don't want to be right, though, Graham. I really don't.
Well, I mean, I get it. I don't want you to be right either. Unfortunately, you are, though, I think. But we can better it. If we are aware of the problems, then I think that we are more prepared and well suited to perhaps solve or remedy some of those problems, right?
It balances out.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You know what? That's a basic throne you got there, Graham. What the hell?
I know, dude. I don't know why I was thinking that. I was just like, I've been playing a druid in all my like MMOs and stuff, so I was thinking like more wooden and jade and like all sort of. I know it's shit. My answer's shit for that. No, I'm gonna. It's shit. Fair enough. I'm just give myself the self-hang on that shit.
Dude, would you stop, like, with the unaliving yourself, children? Like, don't you know that the internet has become really...
I killed a child. I just strangled him. I just want to make that YouTube. I just Google Alphabet, whatever your company is.
For the spider, too. Just, it's been on the mind since it's...
Oh, yeah, the spider. No, he didn't make it. No. We need a big ass guy too.
I agree. We need a moment of silence. We need a moment of silence. You might have killed the spider that was going to make Spider-Man, Graham.
He could have been poisonous
That's
and
true.
killed my entire family. So I think, you know what?
Well,
I think it's
things
a
balance
victory
itself out.
today. I saved my family. That's what I'm going to go to bed thinking.
Don't make
I
me
saved
pick
my
sides,
whole
Graham.
family.
I need the
What's
next
that,
Yuki
sir?
versus Panda book. I can't pick sides.
Yeah, exactly.
I. And Pan's Labyrinth sucks.
He sucks.
That's what I.
Oh my god, it's gut wrenching, man.
Wait. Isn't that
Have you
that's
ever
the
seen
one with?
Psycho Gorman?
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that's the one? No, maybe I'm wrong. Because there's one of them I like, and there's one of them.
Eyes. I haven't seen it.
Wait, is it Pan's
Looks
Labyrinth?
cool.
Wait, Pan's Labyrinth. Isn't that the one with Who's the villain?
Well, it's like a soldier, and the guy with the eyes is chasing after them. The
Oh
girl goes
no,
into,
my bad.
like,
Well, then what's the one where David Bowie is like a little creepy for my liking?
Labyrinth. Just Labyrinth. Yeah.
Don't say you don't like Labyrinth.
I
So
despise
good.
that film. I despise that film.
Really, you don't? How come? I'm just curious. How come?
Despise. That's
Because
brutal. Why?
Because you know why? Because he came
Yeah,
off
I'm
way
so
too
curious.
creepy with that baby, and Ash needed to show up and just run a chainsaw straight through his chest and just right up. I'm sorry, that's what he deserved with what he was doing.
It was a bit crazy.
Yeah, nothing short, nothing less. And again, nothing against David Bowie. I'm saying that character in Labyrinth deserved to be disemboweled. Like it deserved.
I can't argue
and
that.
so no,
creepy character.
So too much. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm, like, there's a reason I don't like most horror films. Because, look, if I'm watching a film and there's a bad guy, I want to see that SOB get his comeuppance. All right? There's enough in the world where it doesn't happen and people get away with terrible things. If I'm going into something that's fiction, I do not want to see somebody get away with being a terrible horror. Like that Terrifier series, right? Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. I know.
Yeah,
so frustrating, man. Just kill that clown. What are you doing?
Not even that, too. Yeah, there are moments where, like, I see it where they got him down, and I'm like, look, you pick up the first thing you can, and you beat him until you see the inside of his skull. If you've seen him just cut your friend in half,
it doesn't matter.
Like,
it's just like
no. So no. That's why I don't like Labyrinth, because that dude did not get his proper comeuppance, and he bloody well deserved them, and probably more. All right.
So that wasn't the movie that I picked, though.
Okay, no, you're thinking of Pam. Okay, and wasn't that Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah.
Never mind. I enjoyed that film. It's excellent. I haven't seen it in a while. I did watch it
I
when
just
it
really like
came up.
Again, the whole
I mean, it's Guillermo
Dark
del Toro.
Alice in
Yeah,
Wonderland.
Del Toro does things cinematically that I am amazed he's able to pull off, to be real honest.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think? Have you ever thought about trying to write anything beyond comics?
Yeah, I mean, I started out in film and television. That was like my main. Well, I mean, I started out in comic books, and then I went into film and television, and then I went back to comic books. But yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to go because, like, honestly, and I wouldn't answer one of the questions like with storytelling. I think it's just the medium is getting so diverse. I mean, video games. You know, like when I don't want to say when I was a kid. Video games were meant, you know, there were 6 levels, and so they were insanely difficult because they didn't want you to beat the levels. But now video games are meant to be played and experienced the story, like The Last of Us and Final Fantasy and all these things. It's like they're designed to be to be finished, not to be punishing. I mean, certain games are like Dark Souls. I love it. They're glorious for that. Yeah, I fucking love it. But like, you know what I'm saying? The most experiences, like you're playing your God of War, you're playing your Borderlands, you're playing whatever. They expect you to finish most of the series or the fucking game, right? To see the story and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's storytelling is taking on all sorts of mediums, and then you take AI and then all this shit. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's just.
No, wait. What if you wrote film and TV wise, Graham?
I used to work for a comedy television network, Bite Television. So I wrote like a lot of stuff. That's where Yuki versus Panda was originally from. It was just one of the crazy skits that I did there. But I did some music videos. I've done like some short films and stuff. Film is hard. It's a good industry in Toronto and other places like that, like cities where you have a lot of like just kind of people willing to just sort of like get together and collaborate on a project like that. But it's hard, you're got to be out in the field a lot of the time, and so and with film especially, it's like the hours are longer. Yeah, especially the more people you have, the more makeup, whatever, special effect. The more people, the more ornate it is. The more, yeah. So yeah, comic books I find it's really nice for me. But I have had the Yuki versus Panda was turned into like the animated series and stuff like that. So I got to work with voice actors. I went to the studio and was in that environment, so that was fun. So it was a little different than comic books and stuff. So that's neat. So
Well, and I'm curious because we've had a couple different writers on here that wrote for both film and television as well as they wrote comics. The one that honestly pops to mind is Olivia Briggs, who, if y'all haven't read Kill Train from Image, I'm pretty sure it just dropped in the graphic novel, and that story is I and it might be because it was personal on her note, so I really vibe personally with the story, but as well as if you just like some crazy gore and nutty kills, and it's very, very well done. But she's somebody that used to work in television as well, and she said one of the main things for her in writing comic books was the fact that you don't have to worry about budget constraints. You know what I mean?
yes,
Like, you can dump as much blood or rip off as many heads or have some magical glowing blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. Is there anything beyond that in your experience that you find that really, really makes them far different experiences?
just the way that you tell the story, like if you're gonna do a suspense scene in film, there you cut it a certain way, right? Like the back and the forth, the boom, 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 boom. You use timing and things like that, and psychological space. And with the comic books, you use psychological space, but you use timing differently. It's the panels that you have to use as your timing. So I think that's the big thing. Is like that's the biggest difference is how you are telling the story through film versus like comic books. So sometimes because sometimes I'll think of a scene and it's like it's a movie in my head though. But then when I'm actually writing it down, I'm like, not really exciting to look at, at the panels or whatever. So I have to rethink that maybe, you know what I mean? Like, so a movie, I would do this, but comic book, maybe you just change up the beats a little bit or just tweak it a little bit so it's more enticing, like, so the panels can do more for you. So you're not fighting against the medium, you're using the medium like to its full advantage rather than because like cinematic time, that's like timing and everything. That's a big thing, right? Like a moment in cinematic can take a minute, and we understand it as an audience. It's like it's just a 1 second, right? But it's been like all like drawn out in slow motion and triple like replayed and stuff like that. But we understand it's just 1 second, but actually watching it just takes place like over 60 seconds in cinematic time. So that kind of stuff, I think, how you tell stories and sequences, I think, is big difference.
Using the medium to its advantage is a really good way to put it. I remember, I forget who said it, but I was reading an interview about Hellboy and how Mignola does his work because it's just so pretty. But Hellboy and then Watchmen are two books that were brought up in the interview saying like trying to replicate that in film.
Yeah.
It's a whole different medium, and the way that those stories are told are done using their mediums properly. Like Mignola's work can't be replicated into a movie or a show. It can be, but not the way that he does it, because his
Could be.
minimalism and his framing.
You have to use a different medium. Yeah, totally.
Whole different use. And then even Watchmen with the 9 grid and all that, especially because every, like, he does the zoom out right on the pin or whatever, you get to focus and see that as long as you'd like, and the way your eye moves changes in how a movie would. It's so cool. I love talking about comic creation, but it's just awesome seeing the different mediums and how they can be used for a story.
Yeah, I agree fully.
See, that's interesting because it's just a very, very different medium, and it's funny to think, especially with the things that you just brought up, Eric. Because I mean, how many Hellboy movies have there been at this point?
4?
Is it 4?
It has to at least be 3.
Golden Army, original,
Ron
Crooked Man, and then the other one with the sheriff from Stranger Things. So I think 4.
Yeah, I think there's 4.
There's been 4. Yeah, I've seen them all. I love Hellboy. Yeah, I love Hellboy.
Awesome. Hellboy's the bomb.
Why do you think there's some things that Hollywood finds hard to crack in that regard? Because I would think at this point, like look, man, I remember the MCU starting, and I remember like when I went and seen Civil War for the first time, and I'm like, that's a comic book cover with the moment with Iron Man and Cap and the shield, because that's one of the most iconic moments from that whole run, and other things they've done since. What do you think it is that makes it to where other comics, such as Watchmen and Hellboy, are just more difficult to capture the essence of the book? Like, what makes that so tricky, man?
Oh, Eric
I'll tell you exactly why.
Yeah, Eric has an answer here. What is it?
I will say Absolute Wonder Woman. Have you guys read Absolute Wonder Woman?
I think I have it.
Have you looked at it?
I have it. I don't think I've read it yet, though, because I love Wonder
I will
Woman.
tell you, you can make these into shows. You can make them into movies. But the way, the emotional response, and the way you're going to take away the story and how it's told is the only difference in why it's going to be difficult. Because you can make a comic into a movie, and they've done it, and it's awesome. And you're right, they get that, oh man, that was a cover, right? But, and I'll say this to those who have read Absolute Wonder Woman, just as an example there, and then I'll give Hellboy example. Absolute Wonder Woman's panel work is unbelievable. It's so weird, so abstract, like to the point where, because it's very like ancient mythology based. So the panels are circles with wings and like weird symbols and stuff, and it makes your eye go, whoa, and it's a whole other experience
I love that.
than watching a scene of Wonder Woman punching someone. And then in Hellboy, my favorite part about Hellboy and any of his work is he'll have a panel, like one little strip, and it'll just be a blue background and a flake. And I don't even know what the hell that flake is. And my brain's going, whoa, that's pretty. And then the next panel is just a silhouette with a blue background, maybe a couple dots. And I'm like, it's so simple. And there's so much emotion depending what's going on there. And that can be done it can be done in different ways in a movie and a show. And you can get the story across, or you can get specific emotions in. But it's the same with even reading. Like, I really like Stephen King's The Shining, the book. I didn't really like the movie. Because in the book, you can hear everything that's in his brain when he's going nuts. And you can't hear that in the movie.
Right.
You can see it a bit, but some of the stuff you're missing, that context, there's different context in a medium. I could go all day. Sorry.
Yeah, you're talking about book and film. Totally different. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, the point you just made, though, I think is kind of, look, I have never in my life read or consumed something, whether it was book or comic, and then it get transitioned into a movie, and the source material having not been better. Yeah, I can't. Can you think of an instance?
Offhand.
Huh?
Better might be subjective. Better because it's your original source for that. You know what I mean? So you're comparing it to your original source, and it is the original source. And I'm not I'm not discounting that. It probably is better. It's just interesting, like the term better is just like
There's a
Lord
lot
of
of
the
goods
Rings.
and bads. Lord of the
You
Rings
know what I
is a
mean? Lord of
huge
the
one.
Rings is a good example, I think.
Yeah.
Like those
There's a-
books,
yeah.
people are like, yeah, but those movies are amazing too. But you know, those books aren't perfect either. There's like 12 pages of like poems and stuff like that. So it's like that, like right? Like some people think that it's taken the best of those books and done it, and then but if you read the books, that experience can never be replicated in a movie. So it works both ways, I think,
I
honestly.
think there's just a lot of bads. There's a lot of iterations of things that are made and they're just bad. And then when they're good, they're like, oh, it's just as good. Rarely are they better.
It's so bad. They take
There's
the
a lot of
book
bad.
and they make it so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things that are good in a book just don't work in movies. But like you said, you can't hear the inner monologue of the character or whatever a lot of the time. Without it being cheesy, some kind of detective noir movie or something. So it's like,
Yeah, no, look, I'm very, to that note, I remember at a very young age reading Starship Troopers. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, okay.
Great novel. Great novel. I love it. I've still got it around here somewhere. I can't remember if it's on my front room, my bookshelf, or it's on this one, but whatever. And then I remember going and seeing that film. All right, which is very much not an adaptation of the novel. They just kind of and they'll admit that.
Even did his own thing.
Yeah, they'll totally admit that. Yeah. And like it angered me because I love that book. You know, and it was probably the first example where I had something like that happen. And I've went back to it years later, and I'm like, hey, this is actually a pretty good movie for. I mean, it's very satirical. It's very much. It's got its points, but it's not something I caught at the time based on my age. One, and two, that I was going in expecting something entirely different. Right. This is also something they're apparently doing it at the Starship Troopers film.
Mm.
And they're doing a reboot that they're going to make more true to the original novel. So, kind of curious as to what they were going to do with that, especially since in that novel they never described what the bugs looked like. They just called them bugs. So, what do you do? Do you base it off the original movie, same concept, or do you come up with a completely different concept? Like, there's so many weird aspects to go in that in any kind of when you're making an adaptation. And I think that's one of the things that they'll always be with adaptations is you have to keep in mind that this is somebody getting a hold of this work and they're trying to add their own touch. And sometimes sometimes they might not even like what they're adapting.
Yeah. Or they have totally a different, it's just an inkling and then they go off on a different tangent. Yeah.
Well, and that's like I hear, I don't know if either
like Super Mario Brothers, the movie? The first one? Jesus Christ, man. What the?
Why'd that film get so much hate, man?
Because it wasn't Super Mario Brothers, like in any shape, way, or form. Like that's the thing. That's why. If it had been its own thing, maybe it would have, been okay. Dennis Hopper is a dinosaur, or whatever. These it was just not a Super Mario Brothers movie, at all. It was just like, what? You don't even play the game?
Do you think that was based on someone having no knowledge of the game, or someone having knowledge of the game and going, there's no way we can make this, but we can make a story that has all these characters, but we have to make it to where, it's within budgetary constraints and what they could do at the time. Because, like what they did with the new Super Mario movie was completely, totally computer animated. They couldn't do that then, and no one was going to animate a Mario Brothers show like to the level you would have had to make what came out recently.
Right, but if the argument is like we can't make the movie, then don't make the movie.
Wow.
And
only people
maybe they
should
because that movie was crazy. I know, like Bob Hopkins says that was like the worst experience of his life. Like he was drunk every single day, and just like it was studio interference. These auteurs that they I don't know the movie they did before, but it was like a big hit, and so they've been given carte blanche to do all this stuff, and Nintendo of America was just given a blank check, and it was just like, I'm a big gamer, so like this stuff, especially movies and stuff like that, like so like I know all about that stuff, and it's all I know is when I went to go see that damn movie, I was like, this is not fucking Super Mario Brothers. Like, get out of here. You don't even have like, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing from that game.
Yeah, there is.
I don't
Yeah,
remember the
there
last
is.
time I watched it.
Wait, there's totally things from the game that are in that movie.
Okay.
There's a pair of brothers that are plumbers. They're named Mario and Luigi. There's a princess, right? They even brought Yoshi out at a point, right? There is Bowser, even though he doesn't look exactly like. Now, come on, man. You're being way too picky. There are 1,000 things in that game. And I'm not to say there aren't 1,000 or 1,000,000 things that are different.
No, you're
from the
right.
game, but come on, man. It was the
just like
loosest
it's
adaptation
like
you could
Dennis
make.
Hopper with shades, and now he's Bowser. That's Bowser. Dennis Hopper with shades is now Bowser. But
no, they gave him a hairdo with spikes on it.
They gave him a hairdo,
right?
That's true. They give him a hairdo. You got me.
Jesus.
Super Mario Bros. Yeah, no, it's true, man. It just they're wacky. Video game movies are crazy, man.
That's it, man. I'm gonna get my boy to sit down and watch that now. That's a new goal.
Oh boy.
What? You telling me?
Tell me how you like
He's gonna love it.
Hey, well, what? Have you went back and watched that film?
Okay.
No, I haven't. That's true.
I was born in 2001.
Yeah, no, like
and
you
I
don't
watched
even
it
know
in
this one.
2008. I think I might have watched half of it.
Yeah, it's a mess.
But yeah, I also loved Super Mario. My mom also loved Super Mario.
It's studio interference, and it's just a mess. The whole thing was just a mess. Talking about collaborative projects, that's where the dark side of collaborative projects. Maybe there was something gold there in the beginning, but just through that process, it got muddied up big time. They didn't know what they were doing. Was it a kids movie? Was it an adult movie? Like, I heard that they kept on reshooting stuff and adding like comic relief in it because it's just like anyways. Super Mario Brothers. Who would have thought we're talking about Super Mario Brothers?
Our original topic diverted in like 7 different paths.
Yeah, I know, that's okay. Yeah.
What was the original topic?
I don't know. We were killing spiders, and there was something
to do with the turtles.
Yeah, there might have been a turtle involved. I don't.
Plumbers or something.
Jay lied at the start of the show about how it's PG.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Look,
he's strangling children.
You mother.
He was 16 though. So
I'm never gonna be a co-host again.
That's gonna be your clickbait. Why does Graham want to strangle the 16-year-old
I think I need a promotion.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good title for this episode. Graham chokes the children.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we're not gonna. I'm not even. That was. Never mind, man. Never mind. Hey, how are you gonna list the genre of music you prefer, and then you list these bands, and Tool isn't among them? I feel offended.
No, I love Tool. I saw Perfect Circle live, man.
Okay. I was just looking at the ones you had on.
That would have been a cool show.
Dude, like with music, it's like so crazy. Like it's just so diverse. I'm all over the place. But no, man, I go for the hard stuff for sure too.
You seem like you would go for the hard stuff while choking children.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Wow, choking children. I'm like choking them. Wait 1 second. Turn on my song, then continue. This is my jam. There we go. That's my jam.
I'm about to give you the nickname Homer, man. All right.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah, I'm such not a violent person though. That's why it's funny to me to talk about it like that, because like
It's good.
it's completely opposite of my character. So
I want to dig into one more thing, and then I'm going to do one more thing, and then we're going to wrap up because I got like 20 other things I got to do. Because
absolutely,
life, and I know Eric's writing stuff, and we got like I got to make sure I get things to Larry and make sure all that does and this does and that does because I agree. Therapy, or I mean, creating things is definitely therapy to a certain degree, man. But why do you say it's survival?
Well, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't doing this. Really, to be honest,
survival.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me. It's just these things are all in my head, and it has to come out anyways. So yeah, I'm just glad that I have like a, everyone vents in whatever. If you go to the gym, I mean, and you do your thing, or you do your art, or you do your podcast, or whatever, man. I think people will all have our venting, and so yeah, for me, it's writing, kind of getting these stories, this clutter, these stories that I want to tell that are in my head, sort of out into the world, so that I can, all nice and clean in here still. So yeah, that's the deal for sure.
Can I add on to that before you go on to your next thing?
Please.
I quote a lot of things and don't have names, so believe me as much as you'd like. But I remember listening to, I think it was either a podcast or it was just an interview I was reading about a football player. He was I forget what he said. He said something on something. He was interviewed, and he was asked, like, how does it feel? Like football is your entire life. How does it? And he interrupted, and he's like, football is not my entire life. He said, if football was gone, I would still be able to keep on living. And I find when you say things like surviving, like writing is surviving for you, it hits a point where when things, if things were to disappear, if you were to lose something, what is at the core of what you believe in and what keeps you going? And creative outlet can be that. I know no matter what happens in my life and no matter what tools I have, I want and will let out these stories or these illustrations, or I like helping people write and vice versa. So it comes down to that, where it's like at the core of your being, when everything else is gone, what is it that's keeping you going? And that's survival, and that's killer.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that is absolutely phenomenal. But oh my god, I lied. I'm gonna do two more things because I'm sitting over here doing one thing, and look, like your least favorite fictional character. I love that because look, I used to be very much I was never a big DC guy. I was always kind of like, man, Batman and Superman kind of just both suck, right? I mean, honestly, that was my opinion for a long time. I've changed my opinion in that recently. Yeah, I've become a pretty avid fan of Superman, which is funny.
They told in new ways. And yeah.
Wait, what?
I said, yeah, they told their stories in new and interesting ways.
Well, no, I just always had a problem with him because he was a guy with the power of a god and wasn't corrupted by it. And that's probably just because of what I'd seen within life. And I'm like, I've never seen anyone have a fraction of that amount of power and not be instantly corrupted. But in hindsight and later things, and a conversation with Fred Kennedy that took on the show, I went and I started reading a lot of his stuff, and I've watched the new Superman film. Absolutely enjoy it. We were talking about it earlier. And I have a great new appreciation for that character, for what he stands for, as far as just a pure symbol of hope. And then there's Batman, who's a billionaire sociopath who likes to go beat up other sociopaths for fun and fun. But wait, Eric's jaw is dropping. You didn't see his questionnaire, did you? Because his questionnaire literally says, least favorite fictional character. Any billionaire vigilante who could end world hunger but buys more vehicles.
That was my anti-capitalist socialist.
That's what he said.
No, but isn't that frustrating? Okay, Bruce I don't know. Okay, Batman. Batman's
I'm
cool. I'm
logging
not
out.
gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight.
Batman's my favorite superhero of all time.
I'm not just in Batman. I actually
I
didn't even think about Batman when I was saying that. I was thinking
There's a
about,
lot of that character, I know.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I think he can do both. I think Batman can do both. I think he could solve world hunger and go beat up bad guys. What do you think about that? Do you think he could do that?
How much Batman have you read and read?
Not not lately. The one I'm reading lately was the Batman and the Max. And that was very, very cool.
I haven't read it yet.
Oh,
I
that was
really
good.
want to read that.
Yeah.
I really want to read that. I only just recently got into the Max because I had someone tell me that.
Oh my god, it's one of my
remind me
favorites.
of my style, and I was like, okay, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I won't argue about Batman because I could talk all day.
There's no argument,
love
man. Like, I'm half teasing. Honestly, I like Batman. I like him a lot. Yeah.
So I
don't
read Batman
believe
and the Max. Okay.
I don't believe Graham. I want to point out, Eric. I don't think he likes Batman. I don't buy it.
I do like Batman.
I don't buy it.
I do like Batman.
I don't buy it.
Listen. I'm gonna put it on the record. I was this close to putting on my Yuki versus Panda shirt, and I thought, I don't want to fangirl that much on podcast. Oh,
whoa!
What just happened? Oh, he's out of here. It's because I didn't wear the shirt.
Literally.
Thanks so much for hopping on board and listening to the questionnaire. Keep listening out to these crazy guys.
The questionnaire.
I missed something.
Like and subscribe.
You're drunk. Go home.
Thanks for checking out the questionnaire.
Don't have a good day. Have a great day.